Welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here to the start of this week's Fan Fridays. Remy's team looks pretty crazy. We have a Doof, we have a Sock, there's an Ambipom. I mean, I'm a fan of all of that over there, and the opponent might actually give us exactly what we need if we are leading the Muk. So I've been using Muk quite a bit, and I've had varying amounts of success, but I want to see what other people are doing with the Muk as well. Is this a non-minimized Muk? Is this going to be with minimized? Either way, it's perfect, because Galvantula 100% going to Sticky Web, because whenever you see a Galvantula, that's all it wants to do. It just wants to set up for the team, which can work if there's actual sweepers, but if you're playing setup, that's a free minimize right there. So the opponent giving us exactly what we want, and the rest of this battle is going to be interesting to see how it plays out. So that means the Galvantula actually going to go for that Thunder, and it will hit. Yeah, like Compound Eyes just kind of pulls it up to like 100% accuracy, so decent odds right there, except the paralysis comes through, and Muk gets fully paralyzed. Oh man, the opponent with some crazy hacks right there, but that's going to be Thunder missing as Muk goes for another minimize. And the Muk didn't take a lot of damage. Like, Galvantula should do tons of damage with that Thunder, one-shotting, if not two-shotting, a lot of Pokemon. Now, another Thunder will land, but Muk is going to take that one, go for another minimize, and that's going to be +3 minimize. So getting the setup done right there, and then the opponent going to follow that up with a Bug Buzz, going for the better accuracy off the Compound Eyes, not going to get anything, and then Muk gets a free rest. So it is minimized rest. Now the question is if it's Sleep Talk or if it also has Curse, because there's pros and cons to each. That I found the most success with Sleep Talk and then Knockoff. But unfortunately, like, I need the damage. That's why you want Curse instead. So this is going to be Muk being asleep and no Sleep Talk. Okay, so it's going to be Curse Muk, and the Mew actually has the Aura Sphere. So that's going to be doing a solid amount of damage, except that's on a crit. Never mind, I think Muk might be fine through this one, which is why you just can run the rest. That you tank 3 hits, and then you just heal back up to full, and it doesn't matter anymore. So it looks like full special defense Muk with that Curse. So Muk's going to wake up, get a Curse. It's going to be huge damage on the Mew when the Muk ends up waking up. And this is like best case scenario. That Muk should not be taking hits every single turn like this. It's only because of the Aura Sphere. So we're going to see how Muk responds to this one. That's going to be an Aura Sphere right there. And Muk goes for the knockoff onto the Mew. Mew will take a lot of damage, but not enough. And the Poison Touch will come through and poison the Mew. And actually, that's going to be perfect right there, because Muk goes to sleep. By the time it wakes up, Mew's dead, and then a fresh Pokemon comes in. We have +1 on the Curse, and we should be able to survive this Aura Sphere unless it crits. So this is actually, like, I'm trying to figure out, because when I used the rest Curse Muk, it kind of didn't go too well. I wish I had that Sleep Talk so I could get the extra knockoff that I needed to, like, remove damage and whatnot. But I didn't have, like, full hit point, full special defense investment, and I'm wondering, like, maybe just a touch, like a splash of defense investment to help you survive some of those defensive hits as you set up. But then for the most part, just go full special defense side, and you can just survive hits like this. And then by the time Curse rolls, it's going to be pretty good. So Muk is asleep. Mew's going to go down to poison. And what is the Pokemon that is going to respawn? Also, if you look at the opponent's team, like going back to the team select, the Galvantula, it wanted to do that Sticky Web because we have things like Mega Metagross. We have things like the Genesect and other, like, legendary Pokemon. So because of that, yeah, in an ideal situation where the sweepers can't get over these Pokemon and you went off the Sticky Web, that'd be pretty nice. But in a bulkier team, you're just giving them free setup. And now we're going to see Metagross with the Earthquake not going to land. So yeah, now without the Aura Sphere, this is what it looks like. 1 in 3 attacks maybe landing onto the Muk. So Metagross will die, or will miss 2 Earthquakes right there, and then we're getting into another Curse for the Muk. So we're going to see how much the Muk wants to set up before it decides to take down the Metagross. Unfortunately, with that Mega Evolution, not going to be able to hit a bonus damage on that knockoff, but still going to be pretty nice. Muk avoids another Earthquake as another Curse comes through. So +3 on defense for the Muk, +3 on the attack. Looking very scary right now. This is turning into a Muk 6-0. Like, it has all the setup that it needs. Like, once you get +3 on the minimize and then 1 or 2 curses, there's nothing the opponent can do. So, Earthquake will hit the Muk, and that did very small amount of damage. Not even a quarter of Muk's health right there. So then Muk's going to go for another curse, and he's going to be taking even less so and less damage. Actually, that feels like even if Muk was at full health, the Earthquake wouldn't be enough to like KO it or anything. So maybe like curse, minimize, rest in one of those neutral scenarios. So Metagross actually getting lucky and landing another Earthquake right there. So Earthquake's going to be pretty good. And Muk goes for another curse. Oh, when will the madness end? Like, sometimes you gotta play it safe, other times you don't. And this is just, alright, might as well just go to 6. You know, we don't need to kill it. We just go +6 attack, defense, and evasion. And Earthquake is going to land again. So the opponent's getting really lucky right now. But I don't think that's going to be enough to take out the Muk. Yeah, Muk survives with 7 hit points. But after all those curses, it wasn't doing really too much right there. And then the rest. And now this is why you do it. You know, if you have all these evasion, even if the opponent lands like 2 hits while you're asleep, or something like that, kind of doesn't matter. You're going to be able to tank it up, and then with the curse, you're taking even less damage. If they miss those, you just wake up and you just absolutely wreck them. I lost track of the curse, so we got like 5 right now. So Muk's going to wake up after a couple turns, get a curse, and then I think it's just going to one-shot everything on the team. So that's where things are going to get interesting, and it's just the unstoppable Muk 6-0. Like, it's not even about the minimize at that point, because the Metagross landed 4 Earthquakes in a row, and it still wasn't enough to take down the Muk. But see, that's the miss. You just need 1 miss while you're asleep. Everything is going to be bueno. So, curse for the Muk right there. Speed's going to drop. Attack's going to go up. And that should be +6. So now we're going to just watch a Metagross get 1 shot, and it's going to be nuts. So, Earthquake will land a little bit of parting damage onto the Muk right there with the Metagross. Still not a lot of damage, and Muk with the massive knockoff. Like, Muk can do these things. Muk could have done these things before. It's just the shenanigans of gaining that dark typing, only being hit, super affected by ground type moves, getting stab on the knockoff. It just turns into devastation right there. Like, imagine if Muk actually got like +10 to its defenses or something. It would be even scarier. So, plus something to the hit points maybe. But there we go, guys. So that's going to be the Focus Sash, keeping the Galvantula alive. Galvantula trying to throw down the moves, not going to get any luck right there. Knockoff will land. And that's kind of like the only not one-hit KO, because we know the Mega's gone, so everything's taking bonus damage on the knockoff. We know that the Focus Sash is gone, so now it's just Genesect with the download, going to gain special attack. Could be helpful for the Genesect. Goes for the Techno Blast. Muk will avoid it, and then that's going to be a knockoff anyways. So knockoff, 1 shot onto the Genesect, and that's the turnaround, guys. You know, it takes 9 turns of setup, plus however long you're asleep with the rest. But after that, it's automatically over. The opponent cannot do anything right now because they have to land a hit, which is hard enough, and then they have to crit through that hit on a physical attack to try to exploit that defense as much as possible. Even the Sacred Fire not getting enough. Knockoff, that's still going to turn around, KO the Entei. If it was a burn, would have been just a little annoying that Muk would have to rest, get rid of the burn, wake up, and then blow everything up again. Silvally comes in, and is that the Fairy Silvally, or is that a Psychic Silvally? I haven't seen Psychic Silvally, so I'm going to say, like, Pink is Fairy, right? And that's going to be Silvally going down, super effective hit. So, Poison? I don't remember the colors. Either way, that is... Actually, no, wait, it wouldn't be Poison, because Poison's not hit super effective by the knockoff. So, yeah, Psychic Silvally. See, it's just that strange. It breaks me. And there we go, guys. So, the Muk 6-0. That's like one of the most pure, raw 6-0 sweeps we've seen in the 7th generation. It happens less so these days, but every once in a while you can still do it. I like that set, so I might have to incorporate that into when I'm using Muk. But let's go and check out some more battles to continue this part of Fan Friday. Oh, so we have a different battle for the second battle. Remy left a comment saying that's all about the Mega Beedrill because it is now usable. So let's go and see how this battle ends up playing out. Also, think about that Muk. I didn't see any kind of item, so I'm guessing Bright Powder, Shenanigan Muk as well. Pretty nice right there, pretty crazy. Think about what else we could have done for the Muk, but really, yeah, I think that's kind of all you want. Like, it's either the Bright Powder or maybe like one of the Confusion Berries, maybe even a Citrus Berry at that rate, just to kind of help get your setup going for you. And there we go. So that's going to be Gengar versus Zoroark, which is going to work out pretty well because Gengar's going to respond to that like, oh, Steelix just wants to go for some setup. I'm a Mega Gengar. We're going to see how this goes. Also, if it throws down Shadow Ball, that's going to be something. But Gengar with a taunt. That actually might be bad for the Zoroark, just in case it goes for Swords Dance or Nasty Plot. And there it is. No Nasty Plot for the Zoroark. That was a good Dark Pulse or Night Days opportunity right there. And Tapu Koko comes in. So, Tapu Koko versus the Zoroark. Like, the opponent knows. It's like, oh, wait. He can't use Nasty Plot, and I saw the Zoroark on its team. So, the Night Days, not going to do an insane amount of damage to Tapu Koko will be resisted, but the accuracy drop does come through. And the opponent actually going to use a U-turn. So, physical-ish might have been special, decide to just go for the U-turn instead of the Dazzling Gleam. What? I was about to say, Zoroark normally has a Focus Sash, so I don't think that mattered, but might have mattered. That's a Citrus Berry Zoroark. I don't think I've ever seen that before. So, Citrus Berry Zoroark faking out as the Steelix. Yeah, I don't know, but that's going to be a Flamethrower from the Zoroark on to the Landorus. Respectable damage right there, and Zoroark's taunt is going to wear off, but I don't think that really changes too much. Landorus will outspeed on that U-turn, though, and take down the Zoroark. So the opponent's just, like, dancing around right now. U-turn, oh, it's just playing, like, silly, stupid U-turn stuff. I don't really think that works too well. So that's going to be the Gengar coming in. Yeah, he's just taking free damage and doing less damage in the process, but it's going to be Gengar versus Beedrill. So with the U-turn, if you do score KO on it, you kind of leave the opponent in a better situation to kind of decide what to bring in as a response. And now with the buff to Mega Beedrill. Mega Beedrill is just absolutely nuts right now. That, I'm wondering, ooh, the Pursuit. Also, like, it looks like the opponent is, I've never seen the animation for Pursuit, and that looked absolutely hilarious. Like, beads of sweat, like, oh, I can't leave, I can't leave, I can't leave, and then getting hit pretty hard right there. So Landorus with the Intimidate. All right, switching on to Landorus with the Intimidate, trying to drop the attack of the Beedrill. Beedrill does have to switch out, also because you don't know what the Landorus wants to do right now. And then going into the Steelix. So Landorus with the U-turn will hit. Doesn't really get much done onto Steelix. And that is going to be a switch into the Gengar. So what can Steelix do to Gengar? Is it going to try to read an anti-taunt and go for Stealth Rocks? Is it going to go for some kind of other damage? Well, does he have Earthquake? Because if he has Earthquake, that's going to be pretty good against the Gengar since it loses its Levitate. And then, well, I mean, it doesn't have Levitate in 7th generation anymore at all. Rock Slide will not be enough to KO the Gengar after the Will-O-Wisp, and Steelix will be hurt by the burn, so taking some, that actually doesn't really matter too much, but Gengar has the Hex. So Steelix, not known for its special defense, Hex plus Burn equals KO to the Steelix right there. And now it's just going to be Beedrill against 3. But everyone's looking kind of weak, so this is where things are going to get interesting. And Beedrill decides just throw out the Fell Stinger. That's going to be enough to KO the Gengar. Like, that's kind of ridiculous for Beedrill's damage. That, you know, even though Gengar was really low, that's still like quad resist, low base power. But Fell Stinger buffs Beedrill. The Mega Evolution buff buffs Beedrill. It's not just got raw speed and damage. It's still at +2, even after the Landorus comes in with the Intimidate. And the opponent is going to go and withdraw the Landorus as Beedrill throws out another Pursuit. So, Pursuit opens up a lot of avenues. Landorus barely surviving. And then now we have Tapu Koko in as well. So, I mean, pretty much whatever you throw down would have been a pretty solid hit for free against Tapu Koko. And now Poison Jab, it'll be enough to finish Landorus. It's enough to just super effective dunk the Tapu Koko. And I think that's really all that there is to it. So Tapu Koko will go down after the Poison Jab. Landorus comes in, trying to make it an even playing field, but Beedrill still has a damage boost. Landorus is really too low for it to matter at all. And then that is going to be Beedrill, still with the outspeed, even over the Scarf Landorus. Yeah, just insane speed, insane damage. Dealing with that adaptability on the buff Fell Stinger obviously has enough damage to make it work, and Beedrill snowballs to a win. I mean, I think it actually just might be worth doing a breakdown of Beedrill overall, just to like kind of show what happened. Now that Beedrill's usable because of the International Challenge for February, that gave us Beedrillite and Mawilite. So with all that available now, Beedrill has a lot of really interesting things. The Pursuit, the Knockoff, Drill Run. It just kind of does what it wants, and it can turn into some pretty crazy stuff. So if you guys enjoyed this battle, we have some more Fan Fridays coming up in a bit.